Welcome back to MBSE Simplified. In previous videos, we established why requirements come first, how to write them effectively, and how to trace them throughout the model. Today, we're taking the next logical step. Once requirements define what the system must accomplish, we need to organize the solution. This is where the block definition diagram, or BDD, comes in. Throughout this video, we'll use the publicly available SysML spacecraft reference model by Sanford Friedenthal as an example to illustrate block definition diagrams. If you'd like to learn how to build models like this yourself from stakeholder needs through requirements, behavior, architecture, and verification, we cover the complete process at SSA's MBSE and USM training. You can download the free satellite model at the link below. We would also encourage you to get the book, which provides a straightforward guide to develop an architecture model of a small satellite using the system's modeling language, SysML. In addition to providing a reference model to support spacecraft design, this book can be used by instructors and students to learn how to apply MBSE with SysML, and by practitioners of MBSE as a reference approach for their applications. Let us take a deep dive into one of the most common diagrams in SysML, the block definition diagram. In this video, you will learn what a BDD is, why it's essential for defining system structure, the key elements and notations, practical examples, common mistakes to avoid, and how BDDs connect to requirements and other diagrams. By the end, you'll be confident using block definition diagrams to organize and communicate the building blocks of your system. To most people, this is a spacecraft, but to a systems engineer, this is a system. Before engineers can build something this complex, they must first understand its structure. This is where the block definition diagram, or BDD, comes in. A block definition diagram is the primary structural diagram in SysML. Think of it as the blueprint that defines the types of things in your system and how they relate to each other. The BDD is one of the first diagrams used to describe the system's architecture, not behavior, not interfaces, architecture. A simple example of a block is shown in this block definition diagram from the Architecting Spacecraft book we mentioned before. In this figure, the spacecraft is a block that has a mass of 150 kilograms and performs a function called collect observation data. The spacecraft can be specified to have many other properties, functions, and interfaces, as well as other kinds of features. Each kind of feature can be depicted in a unique block compartment. SysML includes the concept of a block as a general-purpose construct to represent a system, external system, or component. The component may be hardware, software, data, facility, or a person. More generally, blocks can represent any logical or physical entity, including things that flow, such as water or information. BDDs answer questions like, what are the main parts of my system? What properties and behaviors do they have? How do they relate through composition, specialization, or associations? One of the biggest misconceptions is thinking a block is simply a software class. It is not. Again, a block represents any logical or physical system element. Examples of a block include system, subsystem, sensor, ground station, vehicle, operator, database, satellite, or software service. Anything that has responsibility properties or relationships can be modeled as a block. Properties are the primary structural features of a block. Below is a summary of block properties. In this video, we'll only cover part property, value property, and reference property. Part properties are listed in the parts compartment of the communication subsystem block as shown below. A part property represents a structure that's internal to a block. In other words, a block is composed of its part properties. This relationship conveys ownership. Parts are used to describe the composition hierarchy of a block and define a part in the context of its whole. A value property can represent a quantity of some type, a Boolean, or a string. Most often a value property is something you can assign a number to. Value properties are particularly useful in conjunction with constraint properties to construct a mathematical model of your system. Value properties describe quantifiable physical, performance, and other characteristics of a block such as its mass, power, or speed. Value properties are listed in the values compartment of the spacecraft block as shown. Reference properties are listed in the references compartment of the communication subsystem block diagram as shown. A reference property represents a structure that's external to a block. Unlike a part property, a reference property does not convey ownership. A reference property can be described as a needs relationship. Generalization is another kind of relationship you typically display on BDDs. This relationship conveys inheritance between elements. For example, the BDD shows a generalization of the two blocks monopropellant subsystem and the bipropellant subsystems. They are a type of propulsion subsystem, and they inherit all the features of the propulsion subsystem. In addition to the features it inherits, a subtype can have other features the propulsion subsystem does not have. For this reason, modelers often refer to a subtype as a specialization of its supertype. For example, the bipropellant subsystem is a specialization of the propulsion subsystem. It inherits the features of the propulsion subsystem. In addition, it adds a unique property to specify oxidizer mass. Let's look at a simple satellite system decomposition example. The satellite is composed of a propulsion subsystem, power subsystem, and GNC subsystem. The GNC subsystem is further decomposed to reaction wheels and GNC software. This is how you can capture that relationship in a BDD diagram. BDDs don't stand alone. They integrate with requirements via satisfy and traceability links. Internal block diagrams or IBD. They show connections and flows inside a block. In activity diagrams, blocks' own behaviors. Parametric diagrams for constraint analysis on value properties. This interconnected model lets you navigate from a high-level requirement all the way to a specific part and its interfaces. Avoid these pitfalls. Overloading a single BDD with too many elements. Use packages and multiple diagrams. Confusing composition with association. Ignoring multiplicity and role names. Treating BDDs as pretty pictures instead of precise definitions. Best practices. Start with context and high-level blocks. Use consistent naming and stereotypes. Keep diagrams readable. Focus on one viewpoint per diagram. Validate with stakeholders early. Leverage tool features for auto layout and consistency checks. Today, we looked at an existing reference model to understand what a block definition diagram represents. In our SSA, MBSE, and USM training, we go one step further. Rather than simply reading an existing model, you'll learn how to build one yourself from stakeholder needs and requirements all the way through behavior, architecture, interfaces, and verification using a structured systems engineering methodology. If you'd like to continue your MBSE journey, you'll find information about our training in the description below. Block definition diagrams give your MBSE model its structural backbone. When combined with strong requirements and traceability, they create a clear, maintainable representation of your system. In the next video, we'll explore internal block diagrams and look inside those blocks using internal block diagrams, because understanding the components is only half the story. If this deep dive helped, subscribe for more MBSE Simplified. Drop a comment with the first BDD you plan to create. Thanks for watching.